Arbar Switchheads, and welcome to my review of Pro Gymnast Simulator. This one's a little wacky, but kind of like gives you a better appreciation of how hard gymnasts work. But before then, subscribe to the channel for more weekly reviews and sales videos, and like this video to, well, help the channel grow. I'm Kanan, and we best do our stretches before this one. Engage. If you've come here for a deep story about gymnast life, well, you're probably going to be disappointed, as there's not much story here, apart from your wish to win the championships in California Beach and Tokyo Bay, and working your way from novice to that championship goal. And trust me, you will work for this one. I will also say that I've not reached the end of this game completely, but I do feel I played enough to form an opinion and score upon it. Okay, so to start with, and before we get into any of the gymnastics, you have to give yourself a name and customize your character. And there are loads to choose from here. In fact, I was quite impressed with how much you can change within the actual character. Okay, first put your name here. And then honestly, you will not believe how many options that are here. You got name, skin color, then you got your hair. I'm not going to go into so many details, but look at this. Detailed face, all these different things. They all do something or other, I guess. All the way, look at the amount of stuff. Clothing, you can change all of this. Color scheme, whoa. Yay. It's just mind-boggling, really, isn't it? And then, yeah, then you got your arms and everything. Boom, 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 boom. Whoa, that's just... I'd say it's too much, but I'm pretty sure that if they didn't have, like, all of this, people would be like, what a point in putting the thing there, because, you know, it doesn't do anything and it's hardly anything there. Well, this is lots, so don't complain. Next up, it's a bit of training to get into the swing of things. The controls are kind of complex but also simple, but they actually do get better the further in you go. What you're about to see is some of the basics and a little bit more, just to get you a little bit of knowledge of what actually is entailed in the gameplay. But trust me, it does get a bit more complex the further in you go. Okay, so there's more to this than what I'm going to show here, but basically you can control your legs by the right hand side thumbstick, and then you got your shoulders with the other one, and basically by manipulating them in ways that I'm not going to go into too much detail, you can do things like this and all, and then you can move forward if you like. But what is actually helpful, if you like, is the fact that when you're doing all this, you can then slow it down. But when you slow it down, you also get like this gauge of where your character is actually gonna be going. So then, way, and then you can move forward. Sorry, I've written all this down so I know what's actually to say, because there's so much here. So yeah, and then once you've got the hang of that, let me just do this. Normally better than this. Right, there we go. So it's actually done through doing that, and then you kind of like relax the character as well. And then you can release the character, see, and then do these spins by holding the trigger buttons. And there's more as you go along. As you can see, I've moved legs up, and then I've let him or her relax, and then it's actually quite neat as you get into it. Well, it is kind of difficult to get into, if that makes sense, and it sometimes doesn't work as it should do. I'll explain that later. So each competition after the training rounds sees you head into the championship, then the finals, depending on which courses you're on, or the qualifiers and then the finals. And then you get to see the athlete's score record sheet showing the scores and the activities that you need to be engaged in. And this is exactly what I was talking about: level complete, final time, final score. And if I find the chalk, not so much finding it, more collecting it, but hey ho. Competing starts easy and soon gets really challenging, with a lot of their levels feeling more like courses than something you would associate with a gymnastics competition, or at least to my mind anyway. And this is where the fun comes into it. It feels more like you're competing in one of those gymnastics versions of the Iron Person competitions. And this works to its advantage, and well, to be honest, I liked it this way. There's even collectibles that you can collect as you go through these levels. And at the end of each level, you get a rundown of the level's progression, final time, final score, and whether you've actually found any of the chalks. The game is challenging and exceeded my expectations of what this was going to be like. I expected a really bad, controlled, boring, trying to be funny cash grab. Luckily, this one's challenging, fun, and even funny in some ways, with a lot of the time failing actually being funny and frustrating. At times, it will take a while to get past some of these courses. There's a lot to remember in some of them. I have to admit that the controls can be rather hit and miss at times, and almost feel like they're working against you, because the actual character has that ragdoll physics type feel to it. And unless you've pinpointed, and using that slow motion mechanic does help, but sometimes not enough to pinpoint your accuracy to, reach out or grab something, therefore missing the landing or missing a grab. This can prove rather annoying at times, but luckily there's a reset button that instantly resets the course for you. There is, however, really not much I can say about this game once I've talked about the controls and everything, because, well, basically this is all you get. Although cunningly they have actually added a design your own levels part, which is, well, pretty cool, and it means that it gives it a little bit more longevity. It's almost like what you see is kind of what you get to the actual game, with each level becoming more complex and having you to think and do a lot more things with your character to get to the end or to get to the goal of the course. Visually, I'd say it's rather basic and feels a little mobile-like, although I'd hate to actually play this in mobile with these controls. As well as many helpful settings in the game, there are also many camera angles that can actually be used, as well as a first person mode, which kind of made me feel sick spinning around and everything, so I had to stop using it. There are some lessons as well that are done with a video of a guy and graphics around him. This kind of had a really nice effect, and I definitely wasn't expecting it. Audio wise, it's not too bad. The music was a little samey. It does all the starts and sounds and background noises, and the beginning atmospheric sounds was actually pretty cool. But all in all, it's just okay. But apart from those lessons that I mentioned before, there's nothing really that stands out here. The good: design your own levels. Pretty cool. Lessons part is also pretty cool. It is fun and challenging. And did I mention you can design your own levels? Not quite sure why I wrote that down twice. The bad: controls can be a little hit and miss at times. It looks like a mobile game. It sounds a little disappointing, if that at all makes any sense. Pro Gymnast Simulator is one of them games that won't appeal to everyone, but for those who do give it more than just a glancing view, I think they might actually be happy enough to want to play this. I'll be giving Pro Gym Simulator a 3 out of 5. It's not a bad game all in all, but I think the novelty may wear thin after a while. But for now, I'm happy playing it. And with that, before we get into the alternative, please subscribe to the channel for weekly reviews and sales videos, and like this here video to help the channel grow. And as for that alternative, well, due to the lack of gymnastics games on the actual eStore, I'm going with another Red Deer game, and that's going to be in the guise of Clumsy Rush. With some weird controls and some fun multiplayer gameplay, it's worth checking out after you've sunk your time into Pro Gymnast Simulator. And with that, if you have any thoughts on Pro Gym Simulator or a better alternative, leave them in the comments. And if you also wish to continue the conversation, then feel free to come join the Switchheads community Discord. Because life is better when we switch together.